Yeah.
Make art, not bad choices.
Yay! We're live.
Everybody. How you doing?
Hey,
everybody.
Happy New Year.
Best party.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year,
2023.
everybody in Kitty.
Yes.
Big possible.
y'all.
Woo.
What's the
Hello.
kid's name?
Everybody, and welcome to the Playground Experiment Virtual Volume 180, the first one of 2023.
Yay.
Yeah. Woohoo.
My name is Eric Mead. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm currently in New York City, the ancestral land of the Munsee Lenape people. Tonight, we have artists participating from a range of places all over the country, and you can see several of them right now holding up the names of the indigenous peoples whose ancestral lands they currently are on. The PGE acknowledges that wherever we are in this country, we are occupying stolen land, and we honor and respect the indigenous peoples that once lived here, as well as the indigenous people who continue to live here and contribute to our society. I'd like to invite all of tonight's participating artists to turn their cameras on and say hello to our virtual audience. Hello, virtual audience.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
please welcome to
audience.
the virtual stage
Welcome.
Hey.
our
Good to see
founder and artistic director, Mike Lesser.
Yes.
Yay. Hi.
Hey everyone, welcome. As Eric said, my name is Mike Lesser. I'm the artistic director of the Playground Experiment. My pronouns are he, him, his, and we want to welcome you to our virtual home here at our YouTube channel, to virtual volume 180. Everybody unmute yourselves and make some noise.
Hey.
180. Ooh.
We are super happy to have you here. For those of you that are new to our channel and to our volume is our flagship program where 6 writers from around the country tonight are going to bring in work in process, 15 minutes of work in process, meaning it is not done, ready for review or ready for critique. It is confusing and they don't know what it is. So what better way of hearing it than bringing brilliant actors together to say the words so they can understand what their work is? And what better actors to bring in than the PGE casting polls? Everybody, all my actors, just make noise for yourselves and scream. Yeah! Before you switch over or do anything, if you go down below, there's a little like button. I know it's going to be a brilliant evening. Just like the video already. You know, don't look not down, up. Look, Catherine. Catherine's putting her finger in the wrong direction. Up, like the video. Subscribe, or you can click that little bell.
It was down.
To let you know when amazing PGE events are going live on our channel. That being said, I'm going to ask our actors to do their first bit of stage direction and disappear and leave just our writers and our stage directions readers tonight.
Wow. They're good.
Tonight we have 2 amazing stage directions readers. We have where are they? Oh, I lost them. We have there they are. We have the amazing Danya Redwood. Woo!
Yes.
And Janera Hampton.
Yes.
Give it up.
Thank you.
They're going to be wearing multitudes of hats this evening, but they're going to do their first bit of stage directions and disappear as well. Look at this magic of Zoom.
Magic.
And now I'm going to bring back our host for the evening, the amazing Eric Mead. And I'm going to disappear and enjoy the evening with y'all on chatting with y'all on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Take it away, Eric.
Thank you, Mike. All right, let's get things started off with a bang. We're going to start with our first writer, which is Rex McGregor with the piece called Revitalized. Can I just have Rex McGregor on screen, please? Hi, Rex. How are you?
Hi, folks. So I'm coming to you from Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday afternoon. You're in New Zealand
I'm
right
in
now.
New Zealand now. Yes.
Wonderful. And it must be like 2 o'clock there, maybe 3?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay. Very cool. Auckland, Lower Hutt, Christchurch, Palmerston
Wow.
North.
You're really good. I'm impressed.
All right. So I understand that you really like writing short plays. It's one of your fortes, I hear.
Yes, I usually do comedies. So this is a little bit of a change from that. So this is a play with the theme of love, but examining where extreme love can take you.
Awesome. All right. And I believe it's supposed to be a horror piece. I'm going to be frightened, which I'm very excited about. It's one of my favorite genres.
Okay, so yes, it's quite tame in sense of horror, but just as a trigger warning, there is reference to a gory murder.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, if you'd like to introduce your actors, I'm very excited to hear Revitalized.
So we have Matthew Menendez playing Troy and Beth Devlin playing Linda.
Wonderful. Hi, Matt. Hi, Beth. All right. I will disappear and let you take it away with the stage directions.
Revitalized, a horror play by Rex McGregor. A young woman recovering from surgery feels a new lease on life. A private room in a hospital.
Where am I?
In the hospital. You had an operation.
Whoa. I feel so freaking weird.
Do you know who I am?
Of course. Troy.
That's a relief. Dr. Grimshaw said with neurosurgery, there's always a risk of memory loss.
As if I could ever forget you.
Awesome.
Tell me you love me.
I'm crazy about you, Linda.
But do you love me?
You know I do.
I need to hear you say it. The 3 words.
I love you. How's that?
Wonderful. The most wonderful thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Sugar. We've been married for 3 years. I must have told you 100 times.
It still feels like day one.
I better call Dr. Grimshaw. He said to let him know the moment you woke up.
Come and make love to me.
What?
Make love to me. Don't you want to?
You need to recover first.
I feel fine. The operation obviously worked.
Dr. Grimshaw is confident he removed all traces of the tumor.
So his job's done. Put your phone away.
I just think he wants to do a post-op check.
Forget him. Not Ben.
Linda, a nurse could walk in at any minute.
I'm willing to take the risk.
This isn't like you at all.
Was I super cautious before? Remind me. I seem to be having a touch of that memory lapse thing.
You were always perfectly sensible.
How boring. Luckily, I've changed my priorities. A brush with death can be funny like that.
Even so,
Don't you fancy the new me? Playful and adventurous.
sure. And in the right time and place.
It's my head, isn't it?
What?
My shaven head, it turns you off.
Don't be silly.
You always adored my long hair, didn't you?
That is a trick question. I'm not falling for it.
What's the name of that girl in your office? The one who idolizes you?
What are you raving on about?
You know who I mean. I can't recall her name. Curse this intermittent amnesia. If you had an ounce of sympathy, you'd help me out.
Her name is Hazel Minkowitz.
Hazel Mankiewicz. That's right. Hazel Mankiewicz.
What's she got to do with anything?
Well, most people find her attractive. Except for you, Troy. You can't see past her short hair.
Linda,
Hazel's hair is much longer than mine now. So in comparison, I bet you find her more appealing.
don't be ridiculous.
Every day you're at work, and I'll be convalescing at home, all jealous and bald.
Your hair will grow back.
Not as fast as my jealousy.
You'll be pleased to know Hazel doesn't work with me anymore.
Really?
She quit last week.
You never said. Or did you? I can't tell.
I never mentioned it because it's not important.
She worked there for ages, didn't she? There must have been a big send-off.
No more than usual.
Did you give her a hug?
She gave me one. I could hardly avoid reciprocating.
So, after all these years, you finally had close physical contact with her. You must have felt some emotion.
No. I swear, Linda. She means absolutely nothing to me.
Oh.
Are you all right?
I'm disappointed in you, Troy. I'd like to think my husband isn't totally heartless. Everyone knows Hazel worships you.
I can't help that.
You could at least have shown some normal human kindness.
Not when she grabbed hold of me against my will. Honestly, she's pathetic.
Whatever.
Should you be...
You claim you love me, regardless of my physical appearance, right?
I'll admit looks were a factor early on, but not now.
Then I'm happy.
Great.
In fact, a smooth head is practical. No fuss, no problems with the wind. I think I'll keep this style.
What?
My dome will soon get prickly. I'll shave it when I do my legs. Unless you have some objection.
No. Your choice.
La 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 la.
This is a miracle.
What?
You hummed in tune
Did I?
for the first time ever.
The operation must have affected my sense of pitch.
That is some side effect.
I bet I can sing out loud too.
I don't. Someone might hear.
That's the whole point.
Singing wouldn't be appropriate considering what happened last night.
What do you mean?
You've been asleep for over 12 hours. During that time, in this building, there was a disturbing incident.
Incident?
A murder.
Oh.
A patient in the next ward.
Oh my God.
Don't worry. Of all the places in the city, we're safest here.
How do you figure that?
There's a deranged killer on the loose, but this hospital's crawling with cops.
All killers aren't deranged.
This guy hacked the woman's head open and took off with her brain.
Is that your phone?
I set up a news alert. They found it. Her brain.
Where?
Outside. In the trash.
You're joking.
There's a photo.
Flattened like a pancake.
Oh, I think I'm gonna puke.
And stomped on. Again and again.
Oh, another update. The rest of the corpse was treated with reverence.
Strange choice of word.
Look, he posed her like he's an undertaker, arms crossed over her chest.
No evidence of any struggle. A preliminary assessment indicates the victim was anesthetized prior to the incision. Hazel Mankiewicz would have felt no pain.
What? Hazel Mankiewicz?
They've identified the body.
This makes no sense. Hazel left the country last week.
Not according to her fingerprints.
Let's see. No, this can't be true.
What?
Everything suggests Hazel Mankiewicz's murder was eminent neurosurgeon Dr. Philip Grimshaw, found hanged in his apartment this morning.
Hanged?
Police are not looking for any further suspects. The following suicide note was attached to Dr. Grimshaw's body. I'm free of you now, Hazel. I did what you asked. I did everything you asked.
Stupid fool.
Sick monster. He butchers her, and he says she asked for it? Has there ever been a viler case of victim blaming?
Love can make people do strange things.
Love?
Multiple sources confirmed Dr. Grimshaw was completely obsessed with Ms. Mankiewicz.
It's unbelievable.
What, that anyone could find Hazel attractive?
That he could stomp on her brain.
I'm bored with this, Troy. We should be making love.
More news.
Turn it off.
A search of Dr. Grimshaw's apartment was revealed more criminal activity.
None of this has anything to do with us.
Yes, it has. Listen. For some reason, he digitally manipulated the scan of a patient's perfectly healthy brain to make it look as if she was suffering from a malignant tumor. Police are currently trying to establish the identity of this mysterious patient, L.
Who cares?
Don't you see, Linda? Patient L is you.
Well, so what? I'm healthy now.
You were never so... You were never unwell. He tricked you. The psychotic bastard.
Don't speak ill of the dead, babe. Just forgive and forget.
After what he put you through?
I'm grateful to him. I appreciate life much more now.
The latest.
Come to bed. Should we try something kinky?
Dr. Grimshaw was secretly working on transplanting a live human brain.
How about role play?
Hold on.
Who would you like me to be?
DNA test results are in. The brain in the trash belongs to an unknown woman. It cannot possibly have come from Hazel Mankiewicz.
Pretend I'm Hazel. Call me Hazel.
End of play.
I was Hazel the whole time. That was fantastic. Give it up for Rex McGregor and the cast of Revitalized. Beth, you're officially scary now.
As I've always dreamed to be.
That was so fun. Thank you so much, Rex. Thank you so much, cast.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, Rex, is it true that you wrote a sequel? No, a prequel to 12th Night?
I wrote a prequel to 12th Night called 11th Night and a sequel called 13th Night.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm going to have to know more someday. All right. Thank you so much, Rex. All right, this brings us to our second playwright of the evening, Delvin C. Case Jr. This piece is called Right Church, Wrong Pew. Delvin, I believe that you have a history of writing plays with themes on faith, society, and social justice, and are the resident artistic director at the First Presbyterian Church in Naples, Florida. I wanted to ask, are you in Florida, Maine, or New York City as you're videoing in?
We're in Florida tonight.
Cool. How's the weather down there?
Very good, 80 degrees.
That's very good. That's very good.
Sunny. Not now, but till after 6.
Cool. Very good. I also understand that you too, like our previous playwright, are one of your favorite mediums is the short play, and that is a genre that you have sort of taken on.
Yes.
That's very exciting. That's cool. I can't write short plays myself. I wish I could. I think they're very practical. They're easy to stage. They're easy to do. Unfortunately, I write 9-hour historical dramas with no conclusions. Anyways, exciting to have you on, Delvin. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your piece before you introduce the actors?
Well, the title is a colloquial expression where you are somewhere different than you thought you'd be in person or in situations. So that's what this play is all about, and what could become of that.
All right, that's exciting. I haven't heard the phrase right church, wrong pew. I've always thought of myself as a right pew, wrong church kind of a guy, but I'm excited to hear your piece.
Okay.
Let's see who you have for actors.
Yes, we have Ashley Jackson as Julia, Emmy Kupin Shim as Susan, and Manuel Rodriguez as Richard.
Awesome.
And there's no warnings that necessary.
Sounds great. Well, I'm looking forward to it. All right, Delvin, excited to hear your piece. Cast,
Thank you.
Take it away.
Right Church, Wrong Pew, a one-act play by Delvin C. Case Jr. Characters: Julia, a school teacher, age 28. Susan, a graduate student, age 23. Richard, an accountant, age 35. Time: early evening, fall, present, 2022. Place: Julia's apartment and a meeting room at St. Mary's Church. Set, costumes, props. Stage left is Julia's apartment. At the stage left exit is a coat rack. At stage left of center is a desk with a desktop computer on it and several red pens and a glass. Inside a drawer of the desk is a large envelope. Inside the envelope is a manuscript of a novel. Midway between the desk and coat rack, upstage, is a table. On the table is an empty bowl, an answering machine, and a bottle of white wine and a glass. Inside a drawer is an unopened tube of lipstick in a small boutique shopping bag. Upstage of the table is a mirror. Downstage of the table is an easy chair with 2 pillows on it. Stage right, in a semicircle facing downstage, are 8 card table type chairs. Julia, Susan, and Richard are dressed in smart casual clothes. Julia wears her long hair up in a bun. Julia wears a light jacket at entrance and carries a small bag with 4 apples in it. She also carries an old-fashioned leather pocketbook. Synopsis: a lonely woman seeks friendship at a meeting at church. Blackout. As the lights come up on stage left, Julia enters from stage left and into the door of her apartment. Spot 1 on Julia and follow. Julia takes off her jacket and hangs it on the coat rack. She crosses to the table with the apples in the bag and presses the telephone answering machine. Sound effect: answering machine. You have no messages. Julia crosses to the table and takes the apples out of the bag. She very neatly arranges them in the bowl. She folds the bag neatly and puts it in the desk. She pours a small amount of wine into the glass and drinks it slowly. She crosses to the chair and neatly rearranges the pillows. She crosses to the desk and opens her computer. She takes out the 4 red pencils and neatly arranges them on the table. She opens the desk drawer. takes the envelope out of the drawer, opens the envelope, and takes out the manuscript. She then starts to edit the manuscript. Sound effect, sounds of laughter and talking of a small group of people. Julia is curious. She gets up and crosses to a window at center stage and pulls the curtain aside. Lights up on center stage on Richard and Susan standing and talking. Julia looks at the people.
What's going on? Must be a Bible study.
Julia is intrigued at what she sees and hears.
Looks like a nice group.
I'd like to know him better. I'll reach out to him next week.
Julia looks out at Richard. Richard looks up and sees Julia in the window. He smiles as he looks back at Susan.
Time.
Lights come up on stage right, semicircle of seats. Richard crosses stage right into the church, to the seats, and sits down. Julia turns from the window and sighs. Julia crosses to the table. She opens a drawer and takes out a small bag, like from a makeup store. The bag is unopened. She looks at the bag and at the mirror. She puts her hand to her lips. Julia takes out a tube of lipstick, opens it, and puts some lipstick on. She puts the bag and wrapper back into the drawer. Looking at the mirror, she starts to undo the bun and stops.
Enough.
Julia stops, leaving her hair in a bun. She crosses to the coat rack, puts on her jacket, crosses out her apartment stage left via downstage, and crosses to Susan, who is standing outside downstage center. Lights off stage left, spot 1 follows Julia.
Hey. Pardon me, where's the meeting? Let me take you. I'm going to.
Susan and Julia cross to the chairs and sit next to Richard. Spot 1 covers Julia, Susan, and Richard. Richard smiles at Julia. Julia smiles at Richard. Richard stands and addresses those in the chairs.
My name's Richard. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Richard. Hey, Richard.
Julia is shocked at what meeting she is at.
I've been clean for 3 years. 2 of the last time. It's a temptation to drink every day. But I was grateful that I woke up this morning without a bottle in my hand. After dealing with the monsters at work yesterday, I nearly went out, but it's a day-to-day thing. Thank you, friends.
Susan leading Julia to clap. Richard sits down.
Anyone else?
Why don't you tell your story? No, I'm not ready. Just what's happening now. It'll help. Please.
Susan nudges Julia. Julia stands up reluctantly.
My name's Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia.
My best friend died from breast cancer 2 months ago. She was very young, 28. My other friend, I only have 2. Had 2. Well, my life's a mess. It really is. I'm realizing that, but I'm
Julia
happy.
looks around
I'm
and a
happy
little
here.
smile.
Thank you.
Julia sits down. Susan and Richard smile and clap.
Anyone else? We done? Meeting's over.
Richard stands. Susan, then Julia stand. They join hands.
God, grant us
Grant us the serenity to accept the
to
things
accept
that
the things we cannot change,
The courage to
Courage
the courage to change things we can,
and the wisdom to know the
and the
difference.
wisdom to know the difference.
They drop their hands.
Back next week.
Yes.
Sound effects, several saying yes.
Our group will stand by you.
You coming next week?
Maybe. It's hard starting, taking the first step. Yes. Yes, it is.
I just started with the program myself. The first night's the toughest.
Yeah.
You did fine.
See you again, we hope.
Susan hugs Julia.
We'll see you again, we
Thanks.
hope.
Thank you.
Richard and Susan start to cross to stage right. They stop and turn back toward Julia.
A bunch of us are going out for coffee. Want to join us?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure she does.
Come on.
Richard and Susan cross and exit stage right. Julia stops before crossing and is amazed at her reception.
But I'm not.
We're here on the steps.
Julia quickly steps stage right and exits stage right. Spot one off Julia as she exits. Blackout on stage right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Delvin. That was beautifully written and beautifully performed.
Thank you.
It was really wonderful. What is that phrase? May God give us the to change what we can, accept what we can't, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Right.
It's very lovely. Thank you, Delvin. For our third play of the evening and the last one before our intermission dance break, we have a new playwright tonight, Michael David Johnson, with a piece called Reparations for a Brother Named Starling. Michael David Johnson, can I have you come onto the screen? Hold on, I might need to give you permission. Hold on. 1 second. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay. Hey, Michael. How are you? I think you're on mute, Michael. Let's see if I can unmute.
Hey, sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. No worries. I
Yeah,
can
I
hear you
think
good and clear, Michael.
Great. Yeah, I'm using my phone, so I've had a little trouble with my internet here at the house, but I'm getting used to it. So sorry about that.
No
All
worries.
right.
I just got like a new iPad. I've been trying to use that for Zoom, and like I don't know how it works at all.
So you understand. Okay,
So I get it.
great.
I get it. Well, Michael David Johnson, this is your first time at Playground Experiment as a writer. I understand that you submitted for the monologue festival that happened earlier
Yes, I
last
did.
year in the fall. Really
Yeah.
excited to hear your work.
Great.
You were a little bit more difficult than the last two writers to research on the internet, just for some very quick sort of small talk introductions. But because there were a couple of Michael David Johnsons that I found.
Sure.
But I think that I have a yes or no question for you. And if the answer is yes, then I know who you are. And I have a follow-up question if the answer to the first question is correct. Do you know Cassandra Medley?
Oh yes, I love Cassandra Madden.
She's wonderful.
Yes.
She was my academic advisor for 6 years in college.
Oh, she's a great instructor, and I work with her with the New Federal Theater. She's one of my treasured instructors. Yes.
Yes, she's absolutely wonderful. One of the best writing professors I've ever had in my entire life. She has
she's
an approach to it that I found very new and very different, very fresh, and like really opened me up in terms of my process. She's incredible. And that leads me to my second follow-up question.
Okay.
You have trained under / or worked with Anna Deavere Smith, one of my heroes.
I love Anna Deavere Smith. I mean, I worked with her in the 80s,
wow.
At the American Conservatory Theater. When I was pursuing acting, she was one of my instructors. She is an amazing woman, a phenomenal playwright, and just when she walks into a room, it shakes. Okay, she's just that kind of person. She's wonderful.
I saw a recent production of not Fires in the Mirror. I wish I had seen Fires in the Mirror. I saw Twilight Los Angeles. It was opening night for a recent production, and she was in the back row of the house.
Oh yeah.
Sitting there. I was too terrified to like go up to her and tell her how much I respect her as an artist.
She's a really wonderful person, but you could approach her. She's really beautiful. So,
Yeah, she's fantastic. One of my
Yeah.
personal heroes. And you work with the Classical Theater of Harlem, right?
yes, I did. I did work with Classical
Did
Theater
you
of
see
Harlem.
their recent production of Twelfth Night?
Unfortunately, I missed that.
They're
but,
bringing it back, so you'll have a
okay.
chance to see it. It will be indoors in a
Okay.
theater house. They're reviving it. It was incredible. It was absolutely
Okay.
wonderful.
Well,
I
I'll
really,
have to
really
check
liked
it out, Eric.
All right.
On your word, I'm gonna check it out.
Sounds great. Michael David Johnson, this is a piece called Reparations for a Brother Named Starling. Is there anything that you'd like to share with us before you introduce your actors?
Okay. Starling is going to be a girl today
Fantastic.
because we don't have a male, so that's going to be great. It's a play about family relationships, that we may not think happen, but they do. And it's all about love. Okay. And we're going to have Helene Gaelic as Beth Ann. We're going to have Essie is going to be Sandra Paris. Danya De La Gloria is Mary. And then I believe Janira, I believe that's her name, is going to be Janira. Hey, is going to be Starling. Okay. And I'm just going to read the stage directions, and if you can put me on, blag me out or whatever, because if you could take me off camera, that would be great.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. So,
All
but
right.
I'll do the stage directions. Okay.
All right. Wonderful. Nice to meet you, Michael. Take it away,
Soon.
Kat.
Eric, it's my pleasure. Okay. Essie walks into Beth Ann's house with two big bags of grocery and places them on the counter. And Beth Ann is in deep thought at kitchen table and has been drinking bourbon.
You've been drinking again? I smell it in the room, and I smell it on your breath. You promised me.
Who the hell are you? You don't know me and can't tell me what to do. Like, I just had a few. I needed a few. You know what happened last night?
Why don't you tell me, and we both can be on the same page?
Hmm.
This house is a mess.
Forget about the house. You are my therapist today. Tomorrow we can get back to the house. Essie, my granddaughter came by the house last night.
What? You never had a granddaughter.
I know. But you know, I had the baby so many years ago. Well, Mary had a daughter. I never knew about her, and she found me. I mean, I'm glad she did, but I'm afraid. I mean, where do I begin? How do I do this?
You getting another drink?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, Martha Mary, this must really be bad. Just slow it down. What do you mean? How do you know this is your granddaughter? She could be someone who's just conning you.
No, she had Mary's part of the heart locket, and she says she's in rehab right now, and she wants a family reunion.
So what does she want?
What does she want? She wants to know her family and collect the love that she never knew. You know that I have the best hunches about people, and this woman, who's really not far out of her teens, seems like a true heart.
Yeah. You and your hunches had a homeless man in the basement for 2 weeks till I had enough and put his ass out. You can't be so gullible. You have to get a harder edge.
Well, not this time. She is the real deal. I know it. And she looks like my father. His bone structure. She's really a beautiful young woman.
And how much is this going to cost you?
Well, she did mention reparations, but I think that was only a way to have an in into the house. I mean, she really wanted me to be a grandmother.
Yeah. Reparations. Well, she wants to be paid. Look, you promised my Jesse you would pay for his first year at Stanford. You know I can't afford it. And he always has always been like your grandson. And so I don't know what this girl wants, but Jesse has his heart set on going to that school.
Her name is Starling, like the bird. Oh, it's such a beautiful, unusual name. How long have you known me?
Starling. What the fuck? 35 years, worked for you 25.
And when I've ever broken a promise to you?
Never.
Okay, so I am not sure what my granddaughter wants to do with her life, but this is more than about money, just as our relationship is more than money.
Relationship? Okay. You are getting in too deep, and you just met this kid. You have to give it time, Beth. The kid has to prove herself to you.
No, I mean our relationship, you and I. We are more than about money. Prove herself to me. Well, that's so fucking backward. I gave her mother away. It is I who have to prove myself to her.
Okay, that's the problem with you. I have told you this before. You have to forgive yourself for your past. That was out of your control. Your life was threatened. In order to live, you had to do it. You have to forgive yourself so you can move on.
The way I see it, this is the perfect opportunity for me to get forgiveness and make it up to Starling and Mary.
Just be sure these people are who they say they are, and that money is not the only motive for this family reunion. We all have obligations, and you were not counting on a granddaughter at this point in time because you already have a grandson. Just promise me you'll take this slow and run all things by me. We have been friends for a lifetime, and I will not lead you wrong.
No, you have never led me wrong. It's just that I feel like God is giving me a second chance. And this time, I can't let anything get in the way of me being a good mother and grandmother.
See, that's what I'm worried about. You being this grandmother of all grandmothers and getting taken advantage of. That scares me.
Me too, Essie, me too. But a foolish heart is the only heart that can heal from breaking. I have to listen to my heart. I need you as my guide.
I get so tired of guiding white folk. Foolish heart, what?
You always say that. But you and I have no black, white, brown, or anything else.
So true. So listen to me this time, Miss Colorblind. The world is not colorblind. So we have to take off those rose-colored glasses and view the world as others see it. Because we have to live in it.
Salute.
Salute.
Fade to black. Next scene. Essie enters Beth Ann's house carrying a large bouquet of yellow roses. Beth Ann is putting on and taking off a blazer, trying to figure out whether or not to wear the blazer.
Oh, thank God you're here. They'll be here in a half hour. Oh, you got the flowers. They're so beautiful. They were my mother's favorite. Yellow roses. Friendship. Oh, I hope they know that I never meant them all that pain.
Oh, stop it, Beth. You're not even sure if this is your daughter and granddaughter, so stop going crazy about this visit.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. I have been going over this moment in my mind my entire life, and now the moment's almost here. I don't know, should I wear the jacket or not? I mean, I want to look inviting. I want them to know that I care. The jacket looks too formal, but I don't want her to think that I would just wear anything to meet her for the second time in her life.
Okay, wear the jacket, but take that crazy bow out of your hair. You look like an insane Betty Davis from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Okay, the bow goes. But this is no time to talk about film. I want the house perfect.
Where did you get these Jets and Essence magazines? Where did these Jets and Essence magazines come from? You don't read these.
I want to make her feel at home. I want to have something for her to read that would interest her.
You have no idea if she can read, so why bother?
Yeah, I will put you out of this house and meet them by myself. Say another word, Esmeralda Jane Rodriguez. Now, I just finished junior college, and so did you. So who are we to judge anyone, especially given the life that she has had to lead? Say another word.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting me worried. Ever since this kid literally broke into your house and held you captive, you have been a deranged woman. Any sensible person would have called the police, but oh no, Beth Ann Stone invites her to live with her and bring the entire family.
Enough! Enough! This is one of the most important moments in my life. And I invite you as my best friend and voice of reason to share it with me. And all you do is criticize. How much do I owe you for the flowers?
See, you got me all wrong. The flowers are on me. This means a lot to you, I know. I know your mother loved yellow roses, so it has a sentimental meaning for you. I just worry because this could go well, or we could all end up dead. I just want you to take it slower. Let's meet them, talk to them, and schedule DNA testing, because we need to be sure.
See, I got this feeling that they are who they say they are. Because who does that? Who breaks into someone's house, risks a prison sentence just to find me? I mean, that alone says something to me. And Starling is something special. I believe her.
That says crazy cuckoo. And I say DNA testing for everyone will be the order.
Don't you dare bring that up when they get here. I will pull out every strand of the hair you have left, Essie. I'm not saying I won't check, but I want to get through this first meeting and then we can all discuss what we need to do to be sure that we are related. Daddy would be turning over in his grave. Well, do a 360, old bastard, because this one is for me.
Doorbell rings.
Oh,
I will get it.
No, I will get it.
But then moves towards the door and takes a beat, then opens it. She just stands in the door.
Are you going to invite us in?
Oh, where are my manners? I am so sorry. Come on in. I am Beth Ann, and this is Essie.
It's so nice to meet you both. Beth Ann has told me a lot about you.
Essie is my housekeeper and best friend. She is a part of the family.
Well, I see you all have all forms of family all around you, but we're blood.
That remains to be seen.
Look, we're not here to deal with the best friend who insults us as soon as we walk through the door. Mama is very fragile, and we are here at your request, Beth.
I'm sorry, Starling. Essie, these are my guests. So will you go and get us some tea?
Yes, ma'am. I have no problem with that at all, Missy.
What do I say?
I can't believe she's saying that.
I don't know what to say. I am never at a loss for words.
Well, Mama, this is Beth Ann. I found her on the internet, and I know she knows that she is your mother. So meet Beth Ann.
Mary reaches out her hand to shake Beth Ann's hand. It's an electric moment, and they both feel.
Pleased to meet you.
How do I do this? Nice to meet you too. You look like Nathaniel. He was the tallest, darkest, most beautiful man I have ever met. He had the gentlest heart.
Essie comes back with tea and cups, and they sit at the table, and Essie starts serving tea.
Mama has a few questions for you, so you have to stop crying.
Where do I start?
Let's all have some tea and sit. You both have to stop crying, or we may have to do this some other time.
I never wanted to give you up. It was a different time. And I was just so young. I thought my father was going to kill me. And maybe he would have. I was not strong enough to do it alone. I'm sorry, it will never be enough. But sorry is all I have right now. So let me just start by saying, I am so sorry for all the pain I caused you.
I waited and waited on the porch, hoping one day you would show up.
You see, I convinced myself that you were better off with the Black family, and that if I tried to find you, I would do more damage than good. The pain was so great to lose you that I didn't want you to have to go through all this pain that I felt.
But the pain will not go away and it won't stop. I just want the pain to stop.
So, seems like to me that you are both trying to blame Beth for your fucked up lives. It's not all her fault. You could have done something in the meantime, and in the between time.
Essie, get out. I can handle this myself. Really, just leave now before I seriously hurt you.
As he
Okay,
moves
Beth.
towards the door.
Okay, I am leaving, but somebody gotta be practical, and seems like everybody here has lost every ounce of practicality. I will check on you tomorrow to see if you are still alive.
Go, Essie, just go. Essie is my best friend, and she is so afraid that I am opening up myself for the biggest heartbreak ever. But what else can I do?
Fade to black.
Oh my God. Michael David Johnson, wonderful job, fantastic piece, incredible acting, remarkable performance. The relationships, the history, the pain, the Beth Ann and Essie, and the quote, "The foolish heart is the only heart that can keep from pain." Oh my goodness, incredible. Now
Thank
that
you,
I've
Eric.
been
Thank
emotionally eviscerated, it's time for our intermission dance break. And so I invite everybody to turn the cameras back on after that. And oh my God, geez. Whew. I'm gonna play some music and we're gonna dance for a little bit. I guess that's the idea. Hold on, let me cue this up.
Thank you, Eric.
Lost my pen.
How you feel right now? Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be. Bitch, I might be better. Turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. Okay, alright. It's about damn time. Turn up the music. Let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay, alright. It's about damn time. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciennes, trying to bring out the forbidden lust. Cause I give a fuck way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup. Wanna get up.
Yeah, give it up for our PGE dancers. Possibly no music will be playing tomorrow when YouTube copyright people say, no, not that one.
Right.
But glad to have you. Everybody unmute yourself and unmute yourself and put your camera on and just make noise for our round 1 actors and writers.
Wow, thank you.
Hey.
Wonderful first act.
As a couple of my turn to make a couple of announcements of some upcoming things. It is now 2023, and we are bringing back the PGE virtual Playdates. Playdates are a 1 hour of accountability where you come in, you join the wonderful people that are there that day. Every Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern time. So that's like a different, like 5 a.m. for New Zealand or something like that. But every day, every Tuesday at noon. And this year we're to have something new. We have a actual host that will be hosting it, and it will be the amazing David Cece. So you can join David Cece every Tuesday at noon, starting tomorrow, for 1 hour from 12 o'clock to about 12:15, until about 1:15, 1:30, where you can get an hour of things done. It could be writing, it could be acting, it could be darning your socks, whatever you need to do in that 1 hour. Join us for Playdates. Other thing to announce, and you are the first people hearing this, we have our official required reading number 21 coming up on February 4th. Now, I know some of you are going, what is required reading? I don't know what that is. I'm new to the Playground Experiment. Required reading is where every quarter we select plays that have been participating in volumes, which we're watching right now, and then they go into the next stage of development. We select 3 plays who then work on that play for about 30 days to get it to the next draft. Required reading, you all can participate by saying you want to participate, read the plays at home, and then give feedback with a questionnaire that we created. Eric Mead is our required reading moderator. He happens to be here tonight as well. But I'm announcing right now, before a video will come out more established tomorrow, but you guys get the special sneak peek of the 3 plays and playwrights that are being announced. Lucy, Bluebeard's Last Wife by Ed Levy. The second play is YMC by Aaron Mohan. And the third play is Burritos Pa Morir by Orlando Rodriguez. Those are the 3 plays. Again, look out for an email or just check our website, because there will be a video with all of the writers talking about their amazing work tomorrow. But we wanted to announce it since we had y'all in a captive audience. Thank you all for being there. Prudence is here, and Robin, and we saw Ed earlier. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. It's time for me to disappear again and bring Eric and the next writer for part 2, which is Anna. And I'm going to disappear. Bye.
Thank you, Mike. It's me again, Eric Mead here, moderating, and I'm here with the next playwright for the evening, Anna Akasi Smith. Hold on. Yes.
Hold up. Meeting is having problems getting.
We can stall. Don't worry. As Mike said earlier, I invite and encourage everybody who can possibly do it to sign up for required readings. I'm going to moderate it. We're going to read some plays. We're going to talk about them. It's really fun. Trust me. We're going to have a great time. So, Anna, this is your first time presenting at the Playground Experiment. Am I correct?
That's right. First time.
Awesome. Very excited to hear your piece. Very excited to hear your work. This piece is called The Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Is it about this one? I skimmed some of them. I didn't skim this one. I like to sort of experience them for the first time. Is it about like a cruise ship?
Well, it is a cruise, maybe metaphorically more than anything else. It is a play that takes place in a nursing home. So, which one of the characters sort of compares to being on a cruise, because it's sort of smooth. It feels kind of endless. It's full of elderly people. But you'll hear in the play what the reference means. So.
Oh, cool. I'm excited for that. I personally have never been on a cruise, nor ever plan to be on a cruise, but perhaps you've been on one. No, you're in the same boat as me.
No, I have been in a nursing home, but never a cruise, and I don't plan on it either. So
fun. Yeah, me neither. It doesn't strike me as a good time. I know some people who would like to do it. So I know that you are a woman who wears many hats. You are a journalist for a very respectable magazine, I guess we would call it, organization. And you have a focus in higher education. You're the co-founder of a research consultancy, Education Rethink, and you're from Chappaqua? Is that near like,
right.
Yeah, that's near like Mill. They've got like a Whole Foods up there.
Yes, exactly. It's near Millwood. We have a Whole Foods. People might know Chappaqua because that's where the Clintons live. Hillary bought they moved here when Hillary was running for the Senate, and they needed a residence here. Also the hometown of Vanessa Williams. So there are a lot of people who are familiar with Chappaqua or the Whole Foods, which is actually another great landmark here.
Yes, indeed. I lived in and around Bronxville when I was a college student, so I have a vague understanding of that section. Speaking as somebody who turned down a copywriting position because I was afraid that it would like bleed into my artistic work, and suddenly all of my plays would be about discounts and promotions. Do you find that your work in journalism influences, inspires, and/or bleeds into your dramatic work?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I was always interested in writing, and I do think that at one point I had to make a choice between pursuing something entirely creative, and then with all the risks involved, or doing something that's a little bit more almost like practical, I would say, to pursue a career in journalism. So that's I have made my career as a journalist. I currently write for Forbes, and I also do consulting for higher education, for universities, et cetera. But now I think the tug to be creative is pretty powerful. So I'm so grateful to Mike, and also for all the actors and colleagues here to give me a chance to show some of my work. So
that's awesome. I can't wait to hear some of it. Are all the actors ready? I padded a little bit for time.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think,
Sounds
yep. So I'll introduce the actors tonight. There's Nancy Ng is playing the role of Sunny. Veronica Dang will be the Gina. And Rebecca Hoodwin will be playing two roles. She'll be Barbara, and she'll also be doing the stage direction. So, and I'm so honored and happy that the trio of actors are with us tonight. So thank you.
Very excited, Anna. Nice to meet you. I'm going to disappear. Actors, take it away.
The Cruise, a play in one act by Anna Asaki Smith. The characters are Sunny, a Japanese woman in hospice after suffering a stroke. Her daughter, Gina, relocated to New York from San Francisco after her stroke, and Barbara, Sunny's neighbor at the nursing home. The time is the present, early afternoon. The place is Sunny's room at Kendall-on-Hudson, a nursing home in Sleepy Hollow, New York. Sunny is lying on a hospital bed, her head and upper body elevated, her lower body covered with a blanket. Her hands are folded neatly atop the covers. Next to her is her wheeled plastic table with 2 mugs of hot tea and a paper plate with cookies.
So, the porgy is wrapped in wax paper on the top shelf of the refrigerator. It's already been cleaned by the fish man at H Mark, so you should be able to cook it right away.
Wait a minute. If you bought the porgy before your stroke, that means it's been sitting in your fridge for...
It's still good. Porgy is a large flake fish and isn't oily. It keeps well. You're too sensitive about these kinds of things.
Mom, most people are sensitive about fish that's been sitting in the fridge for over 2 months.
I'm not asking you to prepare sushi. It won't be raw. I'm teaching you how to braise fish. That's what we did when I was growing up without a refrigerator. We braise fish to create deep flavor.
Okay, so I take the porgy out of the fridge, then what?
You can buy sake, mirin, soy sauce, and sugar in a saucepan and bring to boil over high heat.
I don't have any sake. Can I use white wine?
I've never tried braising fish with white wine before. Maybe it'll be okay. Anyway, after you bring that soy sauce mixture to a boil.
Also, can I just skip the mirin? I can't find things like that at my Whole Foods. I'd have to go to Hartsdale to buy mirin, and I don't have the time right now.
Well, maybe then you should just buy a pizza.
Mom, don't be like that.
Forget about the porgy. Forget about everything.
Oh, Mom, come on. Just as much as I like the idea of writing down all your Japanese recipes, I don't know if I have the time or patience to make them.
But our cooking history is important. Our food is important.
Yes, I know. But my life is different than yours was. I work. I don't have as much time to cook. I hope you understand that.
So, what happens to my recipes? The food I cooked every day when you and your sister were growing up. Are they gonna die with me?
No, no, don't say that. Look, I'll buy sake, Marin. I'm ready. Let's keep going.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Come on, Mom. I'm sorry.
One day you'll crave the Japanese dish I used to make for you. You'll have no idea how to prepare it, nor why it tasted so good. And it'll be too late.
Oh, Mom, I'm just tired. I care about this. You know I do.
You can't call a dead person with a question.
Mom, please stop it.
I don't want to disappear. I don't want everything I've ever done to be forgotten.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know this is hard.
Hard? This is like a vacation.
It is?
Of course, of course. For the first time in 85 years, I don't have anything to worry about.
What were you so worried about before?
Well, will my pipes freeze and burst? Is that gas I smell in the kitchen? Will my stove explode and burn my face? Like that? It was hard living alone.
And look at you now, having tea and cookies at 3 in the afternoon. You're like a British person.
Well, these cookies taste like cardboard. But still, I feel like I'm on a cruise.
With all your friends.
All my friends are dead. I'm on this cruise alone.
But Barbara next door is so nice, and you seem to get along with that woman Joan down the hall.
They're not my friends.
Well, I like this idea of you being on a cruise.
On a cruise that doesn't move.
But then you don't get seasick. That's the best kind of cruise.
No, do you know what the best thing is?
What?
This nursing home is free.
It is?
Yes, it's so unusual. People bring in trays of food. A man comes in every day and gives me a shower. Someone washes and folds my clothes. And it's all for free.
Mom, what makes you think the nursing home is free?
Because my tax dollars are paying for it.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but this nursing home isn't free. In fact, it's the opposite of free.
No, I know it's free.
According to whom?
According to Obama. He told me.
Obama?
Yes.
As in President Obama?
That's right. Barack. But I just call him Obama.
How could you possibly have spoken to Obama?
He works here.
At the nursing home?
Yes. He helps serve at lunchtime.
Why would Obama be working here?
Maybe he's bored.
If he's bored, why wouldn't he be building his presidential library or call Joe Biden and tell him what to do about Donald Trump?
I don't ask questions. Obama is very private.
Well, I'm glad you're respecting his privacy.
He's got a beautiful singing voice, that Obama. Sometimes he sings at lunchtime.
What does he sing?
Rock and roll something. He doesn't sing classical, but still, I like to listen.
Well, you're lucky to be stuck on a cruise alone with singing Obama.
Thanks to my tax dollars. Can you pour me some more hot water?
Gina refreshes her mother's teacup.
But getting back to things being hard here and what it's like.
To be dying?
Well, no, that's not what I meant, but now that you bring it up.
Dying is nothing.
Mom, dying is not nothing.
It is nothing.
Aren't you scared?
About what? Pain?
Well, for starters.
I'm not afraid of pain. To me, pain is life, not death.
Aren't you just scared?
I'm old. It takes too much energy to be scared.
People still wonder, though.
That's a waste of time. People who wonder about death have too much free time.
But when you're in bed alone at night, don't you wonder?
I'm at the end of my life. I don't think about much.
I find that hard to believe.
Sometimes I think about how much I like my bed.
That's it?
When you turn 85, maybe you'll understand.
There is a knock at the door, and Sonny's neighbor Barbara, a wiry, graceful, her soft gray hair piled high on her head, sashays into the room. Oh, Sonny, you missed our weekly manicure today. You would have loved it. Look, I got a new color. It's called Romantic Bordeaux.
Oh, please. Can't you see I'm dying? Please, let me die in peace.
Please excuse my mother. We're in a little deep here.
Oh, honey, don't worry. We're all on the same journey, Sonny, aren't we? Save me a seat.
You make it sound like I have a choice.
Well, you read about people having a hard time with death.
I like being alive very much, but death is death.
The room is quiet as both women are still.
So, have you talked to Obama about it?
No, we talk about other things.
Like what it was like being president?
No, we talk about his favorite movie. He really likes Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Do you remember we saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang together? I think it was for my birthday.
What? Birthday? No, I've never seen that movie before in my life. Never. Obama said we'll watch it on movie night next week. You can come join if you like.
Sure. I've always wanted to meet Obama.
You look tired. Don't worry so much.
I'm not worried, Mom.
Maybe it's disappointing for you, but I don't have so many complicated thoughts.
I'm glad to hear that.
Remain. She empties the tea into the sink and dries the mug.
I'm glad to hear that.
When I'm hungry, I think about eating. When I'm tired, I think about sleeping. Like that.
Gina bends over to kiss her mother on the forehead.
And when you're dying, you think about...
She pauses, waiting for her mother's answer, but Sonny's eyes are closed.
Mom?
Sonny stays silent.
Mom?
Gina walks quietly to the door.
When I'm dying, I think about what it's like to be alive. I'm really quite a simple person, Gina. I always have been. Death doesn't change that.
Sonny is smiling, her face pale and luminous, her cup of untouched tea now cold on the table. Gina pauses by the door and nods at her mother. Lights.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
struck a nerve. So thanks for that. Wonderful, wonderful job, everybody. Writers, actors, incredible work. I need to call my mom, maybe tomorrow. Thank you so much. All right. Continuing on with the evening. Clap, clap, clap for everybody. We are going to now see Helen Chang Mao with her piece Gen Xers Move. And I believe that this is Helen's first time at the PG presenting work as well.
Oh,
Hi, Helen.
yes, it is. I mean, I was in I acted in a piece last year, but it's my first time as the playwright here. And yeah, the full title is actually Gen Xers Move into a Retirement Community, which is a very long title. So this is, only a working title. So.
I love a good working title. I usually have 3 or 4 before I finally say, maybe this one. Gen Xers Move into a Retirement Community. You win the prestigious award for the evening of being the hardest person to research on the internet. As I looked up notes for little small talks and interviews before we hear your piece. But I believe you were in a production of Yes, Virginia in Maryland?
I was, yeah. That was just only a couple weeks ago, yes.
That's fun. And you've had written work produced at a theater festival before in Baltimore very recently.
Yeah, something called Jacobed Gives Moses a Pep Talk, another long title. That was done, that was just read. That was a reading. It wasn't an actual full production, but it was, yeah, that was for another festival, yeah.
Cool, cool. Very, very exciting. Glad to have you here. I assume you're calling in from somewhere, I guess, around Maryland, or are you close to? Yep.
Yeah, I'm in Olney, Maryland, which is north of Silver Spring. And in fact, one of my actors is in Annapolis, Maryland right now.
Oh my goodness, in Annapolis. I
Yeah.
very seriously considered moving to Annapolis when I was much younger. And then I realized that everybody in the Navy uniforms would have distracted me, and I wouldn't have been able to get any work done at all. Say what you want about the Navy. Great pants. Oh my goodness. Last question before I ask you to tell us just a brief bit about your play, give us any trigger content warnings if you have them, and introduce your actors, is I think for a lot of us, and I speak for myself and maybe for others, during the pandemic, once it happened, I felt a little bit creatively paralyzed before I realized it was a good opportunity to sort of dig in. But it seems that you found inspiration during the pandemic to create work. Am I right about that? And can you speak to that a little bit?
Actually, yes, it's interesting. I've always had a lot of things bubbling in my head. I pretty much most of the work that I did before in theater and film was more as an actor. But I also am a former English teacher. So I always did a lot of writing. I just didn't do playwriting. I mean, I wrote skits for class and things like that. But it really wasn't until the pandemic that I think because of Zoom, like I was like, oh, well, I'll just write plays for Zoom because that's sort of simpler in terms of stage directions and things, even though, I mean, I just knew it was just easier to produce. And so I think that what I did though is I drew on a lot of vignettes that I've written about in the past, as well as just current things going on in my life. So but I think I was able to do it more because again, everybody's at home, and yeah, my kids are older now. It's not like they were younger, and yeah, so I guess that's how it worked.
Cool. Well, I'm very excited to hear your piece. Do you want to introduce your actors, and we will hear Gen Xers move into a retirement community?
Excellent, thank you. Actually, before I do, just for the trigger warnings, there is a talk about, just briefly, it is a comedy, but there is a discussion of death, early death, and suicide.
Okay.
Very briefly, but I just want to let people know. Okay,
Really good.
so my
Thank you.
actors are, if you could, the first couple, the host couple is Lisa, played by Valerie David, and then David, played by Eli Ganeas. I hope I pronounced it correctly, Ganeas. And then the second couple is Michelle, played by Catherine Overfeld, and Michael, played by Roy Koshy. So, Lisa, Valerie, are you there?
Yes.
I know she was
Oh,
on-
yes. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah. Hi.
So, excellent. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Helen. Nice to meet you. Actors, take it away.
Gen X in a Retirement Community by Helen Chen Mao. Characters: Lisa, female, age 55 or so. David, male, age 55 or so. Michelle, female, age 55 or so. Michael, male, age 55 or so. Lisa, David, Michelle, and Michael are all Gen Xers who recently moved into an active adult retirement community, 55 plus neighborhood. Lights up on a sitting room, 1980s decor, sofa and 2 chairs, coffee table, covered with sheets of plastic. Lisa and David enter stage right, dressed in Flashdance outfit and brown trench coat, respectively. They pull sheets off furniture.
They're bringing over something for us to sign.
Well, I'm just excited to meet the new neighbors. One's our age.
Doorbell.
Okay. I'll get that.
Lisa gives David plastic, exits stage left. David takes plastic off stage right and re-enters with a boombox.
Michelle and Michael as fellow Gen Xers.
Michelle and Michael in trendy clothes enter with Lisa, stage left.
Ba, 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 ba-da-da. Welcome back to the 80s. In your eyes, the light, the heat.
In your eyes.
I am complete.
Eyes.
Say anything, right?
Righto. And what movie am I from?
Oh, Flashdance.
Yes.
Meanwhile, took off a long brown coat and put on fedora and leather jacket.
And who am I?
David pulls out a swing whip, which hits Michael.
Oh, ooh, sorry.
No problem. I'm okay.
David, careful. Don't scare the guests away yet.
Indiana Jones, of course. No worries, Lisa. Michael and I want to thank you and David for having us over on such short notice.
Well, our pleasure. We have an excuse to get to know each other.
Lisa's excited to meet anyone in this community under the age of 58.
Yes, a fellow Gen Xer who can appreciate our 80s look.
Where did you find all this cool vintage furniture and clothes? Honey, I mean, we could use some stuff like this.
I agree.
So what do you need us to sign?
David, be a little welcoming. Care for an after dinner drink, wine cooler, fuzzy navel, a Long Island iced tea?
I haven't heard those drinks in a long time. Tempting.
But we don't need the extra calories and carbs. As on-camera talent, we need to watch our appearance. We're influencers. You've heard of M&M, right?
Oh, you mean the candy? I love dark chocolate M&Ms.
M&M is our brand. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, of course. You're at least on Facebook, right?
No, just LinkedIn.
I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, but actually on Instagram as well. But just to know what's trending with my students, I teach high school English and drama.
So you must know about M&M. Content creators for the modern Gen Xer, 50-something and fabulous. In a few years, we'll focus on 60 and sensational. As a certified life coach, I speak to our generation as we journey through different stages of life.
We're growing our brand, so we need to build a recording studio.
But small, like the size of, say, a screened-in porch.
Having just moved here, we didn't want to ruffle any feathers. We wanted to introduce ourselves, answer any questions, and have you sign the HOA construction application.
Where do you plan to build the studio?
In the back, out of sight.
Well, okay, sure. Lisa?
Sounds fun. Where do I sign?
Michael pulls out a pen and a form for David and Lisa to sign.
Thanks. That was easy.
We really appreciate this and don't want to bother you.
Oh, it's no bother. You know what? Stay a bit. We're all empty nesters, right? Want to play a board game like Trivial Pursuit or Pictionary, Life?
Speaking of life, how much longer do you want to live?
Wait, what?
At what age do you want to pass away? Do you want to die relatively young or risk living too long?
Well,
I want to die young. Not today or next year, but by age 70.
Oh, I don't really understand.
What's going on?
I love my
here?
life right now. I really love my life and want to enjoy it until health issues start to dominate my existence.
Well, that makes logical sense, but why 70? I mean, that's early.
After age 75, it's hard to be active and creative and engaged in meaningful work.
That's so ageist. I mean, that's not true for everyone.
You call being an influencer meaningful work?
It is if you inspire others to live joyfully, like we do.
But 70 is right around the corner. I mean, sort of.
We want to create engaging content through our 60s and then close up shop before things potentially go downhill.
Close up shop? Do you two have a suicide pact or something?
How do you know things will go down in your 70s?
Oh, we don't. My parents are in their mid-80s. Mom's losing her memory and Dad's diabetes is worsening. They can't take care of each other yet refuse to move out of the packed 2-story house where I grew up.
My father had a fatal heart attack at 75 after years of health problems. My mother cared for him until his death, then spent her final years in memory care with dementia. I visited her every day, and she stopped recognizing me.
Michael's mother passed away last year. We moved into this 55 plus community because we inherited his parents' house.
My condolences.
I'm so sorry. But don't you want to still see your grandchildren?
Sure, but not enough to risk turning our kids into members of the sandwich generation, having to care for us and their kids.
Plus, grandchildren would make me feel old. Can you see me as a grandpop? And unless we keep growing our media following, we won't be able to afford to live too long either.
We're looking for another Gen X couple to add more color to our brand. We rock a modern aesthetic, but I love your 80s vibe.
Are we supposed to be flattered or insulted?
Flattered. Nostalgia's in. A retro Gen X couple like you two will increase Eminem's relatability and attract more subscribers.
I'm still practicing law. I don't think my fellow partners would be too happy if I moonlighted as an influencer.
Well, what kind of law do you practice, David?
Family estate planning law.
Perfect. You can advise on divorce and wills, hot Gen X topics. Lisa, you'll be Eminem's expert on books, shows, movies, and theater. Michelle and I already handle lifestyle topics like cooking, meditation, fashion, exercise, and travel.
Lisa, your students will think you're cool if you become an influencer and with an established brand like Eminem.
They already think I'm cool, I think.
Here, look at the Instagram postings we made on our 50 and fabulous cruise to Iceland. See us scale this glacier? We combine travel, exercise, and fashion in these pics. We're brand ambassadors for Patagonia.
Oh, and here we are cooking the salmon we caught.
Well, and later, we witnessed the glorious Northern Lights.
Excuse me for a moment.
Oh, no problem. We'll still be here. We're not going anywhere, are we?
Oh, on another trip, see us scuba diving off the Great Barrier Reef.
We escaped a shark and upheld our brand deal with Aqualung.
David returns wearing silk pajamas and sits.
Nice jammies, David. Oh, want to see our YouTube tutorials on home repairs and improvements? Gen X is truly the DIY generation.
Our product review YouTube videos are so popular with millions of views, which makes our sponsor, Home Depot, happy.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Lisa exits stage right. Michelle plays videos for David, who wearily nods and interjects,
Here's us fixing a leak in our jacuzzi and then using it. Oh, but our videos are clean, not like the other skanky influencers.
Right. Just clean 50s and fabulous fun. Oh, the jacuzzi, it's great for my back after pickleball. Oh, let's show Dave our pickleball YouTube tutorial.
Lisa returns with mask, 80s characters, bathrobes, a lightsaber, and the plastic sheets.
Oh, you may need a jacuzzi after our Eyes Wide Shut party.
Lisa hands David a mask, which he gleefully puts on.
Wait, what?
Eyes Wide Shut party? What do you mean?
Remember that Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman film from the 1990s? You know, the one about the late night orgies.
We don't have Venetian masks and silk robes, but we improvised.
David and I also like the 90s. I thought we could make an Eyes Wide Shut video. That's trending on TikTok, right?
Yeah, honey, give me the nicer robe and the lightsaber. It's the closest thing we have to a scepter.
No, I'll be the leader for our friend's first time.
What? You got to be the leader the last time.
Now,
no fair.
David, we talked about this. You know, you get a little crazy at the eyes wide shut parties.
Dad, you throw that in my face again, huh? Yeah. It wasn't my fault the fire department came that time.
Oh, so here are your masks and your robes.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
no, thanks.
Oh,
Okay.
and use use your phone to record or mine. I mean, oh look, oh my gosh, a Be Real alert. Let's get into costume and position for a pic.
Lisa, what's the plastic for?
To protect the furniture from bodily fluids and food.
Bodily fluids and food? What kind of people are you?
I saw something like this before. Plastic covers everywhere to keep everything clean.
Oh, well, if I didn't know you better, I'd say that you two were planning on murdering us.
Yeah. In Lethal Weapon 2 or Dexter's Kill Room.
Well, you said you wanted to die early, right? I'm just messing with you. It's okay if you're not up to an eyes wide shut party.
You know, it's getting late, and my jammies are calling me twos.
Hey, we'll save it for another night. The next time we get together.
Thank you for signing the form.
Michelle and Michael
We have
start
a-
to go.
You know, we have a waterbed that's really 80s and couples, you know, like
we
to
We
do.
really got to
Yeah.
get going. We'll
Well, let me show you out. Come on.
see you
He
later.
follows Michelle and Michael off stage left. Lisa breathes a sign of relief, sits down, and puts her feet up on the table. David re-enters and plops down next to her.
Woohoo! We never had to get that far before.
That was close. Usually the eyes wide shut party idea clears the room fast.
They get up and start putting plastic back onto the furniture.
What if Michael and Michelle actually liked the eyes wide shut party idea? I mean, what would we have done then?
Ooh, I don't want to think about that. I sure could use a wine cooler after tonight. Want one?
Yes! Out with eyes wide shut and into mouths wide open.
Lisa and David exit stage left, blackout to 80s music.
Well,
Thank you.
that was an engine of disquiet and anxiety that I will need to unpack later tonight. Wow, I mean, geez, growing up in the 70s and the 80s must have been weird. I mean, the 90s were weird too, but if I had to pick between being the same age as Star Wars or being the same age as the internet, I'd pick the internet. Fantastic work, writers and actors. Oh geez, Thank you, Helen. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. 80s were fun. They were, and 90s. Before the internet was fun, actually.
I wish I knew what life was like before computers. I simply don't.
The 80s rule! The 80s rule!
Thank you so much, Helen. Lovely to have
Thank
you on. And now for our final playwright of the evening, I'd like to bring up Andy Lee Carter with his piece Sappho in Space. Hello, Andy. How are you?
I just want to point out my Star Wars collection behind me.
That is incredible. Is this made of wood on camera, right?
I'm the display is, but those are gold.
Oh, okay. I see.
They're painted gold. They're not. It's not real gold.
All right.
I'm
So
not
do you
strong.
paint them yourself?
No. These are those are from Walmart, but I do paint figures as well. But I am, if you can't guess, I am Gen X. So
Indeed. Hello, Gen X.
yeah. So the 80s were cool.
I get that sense. I
Yeah.
feel that, from some of my friends from the 80s. I get the sense that it was,
Yeah,
was a
the
nice-
internet's cool too, but you know.
It's okay. It's overrated.
We get
Uh,
being a young Gen Xer, I get the best of both. So
yes. And we get Zoom. Anyways, Andy Lee Carter needs no introduction.
Hello.
He's a musician, a lyricist, writer, director, a web series and podcast producer, voice actor, filmmaker extraordinaire of Brooklyn, and if I'm not mistaken, a stand-up comedian as well.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And this piece that you have, which I've seen come through the pipes before, this is, you know, sort of an establishment of your corner of the boxing ring of queer historical science fiction, which I love just everything about. Before you introduce your cast and we start your piece, I just wanted to say I thought of you maybe weeks ago. I had a dream, and in my dream, it was late at night on a small sailing boat, like an old sailing boat into the night sea, and my sea companions were Nathaniel Hawthorne, Walt Whitman, Oscar Wilde, and Herman Melville. And I remember waking up and being like, I think I ought to write a play about that. There's something there.
Yeah, that's kind of probably how this one started. So it's like, I have a dream. It's gonna be Sappho, Aphra-Behn, and Emily Dickinson in space.
Fantastic. Let's
That's
meet
exactly
them all.
what it is. So so that we're kind of starting a little bit further in, but I really don't need to say more than that. It's just 3 lesbian poets in space writing poems to
Great.
Aphrodite. And they've just defeated the male poets who tried to attack their ship. We'll bring on the cast. We've got Lori Minor as Sappho, Ruthie Rado as Aphra-Behn, and Peyton Chavez as Emily Dickinson.
Wait, can I just point out, Eric, you didn't include that Andy runs an earring business.
Also, yes,
I did not know
Rado-
this.
Ruthie's wearing my gummy bear.
I don't know if you can see. Look at this gummy bear.
Oh my God, gummy bear earrings. Oh my God, my middle
Yes.
school music teacher
Correct.
used to wear gummy bear earrings.
Yes, everyone should. You can find me on Etsy.
Fabulous. I'll be looking you up. All right, Cass, take it away.
Sappho in Space, a play in 1 act by Andy Lee Carter. Lights up on 3 women in a spaceship: Sappho, the lesbian poet of antiquity; Aphra-Behn, the restoration playwright and spy; and Emily Dickinson, American poet and recluse. They travel to the planet Uranus in hopes of finding the goddess Aphrodite, who has requested a vow of chastity from the women in order for them to prepare one final task, a poetry contest. The winner of the contest will help Aphrodite create a new realm, a world for womankind, free from the judgment of man. But what lies ahead on the journey? An attack from the enemy of male poets, their own lustful desires, and in the end, a missing goddess who has abandoned the plan in favor of another lover, lesbian poet. The women are forced to choose to either return to the underworld they were plucked from or carry on into the unknown universe. It is a dark comedy of errors that sends 3 of the greatest poets of all time into space. Character descriptions: Sappho, lesbian poet of antiquity, captain and pilot of the space crew on board the starship Phron, headed to the farthest reaches of the universe in search of the goddess Aphrodite. Emily, 19th century American poet,
Danya,
also
you
a
can
lesbian.
just read you can just skip ahead to this play. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. The NASA ship blows up, and Ovid, Dante, and T.S. Eliot are trapped and sent off in a floating phantom zone mirror thingy, like the bad guys in Superman 2.
Goodbye, boys. Ha ho ho, their ship is destroyed at last.
Oh, the plumes of smoke and debris are so beautiful.
We should travel by hyperspeed to avoid the radiation. I can put the ship in autopilot, and that will give us the chance to work on our poetry.
Poetry?
To present to Aphrodite?
Oh, yes, in all my excitement, I nearly forgot.
What did we say were the rules again?
Each of us shall present a poem to Aphrodite. It can be of any length or meter. The subject should be of womankind. I hope that is broad enough in scope.
I think we can manage.
And the prize?
The prize shall be to sit at the right hand of our goddess as she ushers in the new age of woman, free from the scourge of man.
Oh, that is grand. But no bouquet or trophy of any kind.
The trophy is the goddess's approval, praise, and love. Is that not enough for you?
Of course, yes. I just wonder about all the flora and fauna of our new home, that's all. I'm very curious.
Well, according to the autopilot, we shall arrive before supper, so we have just enough time to prepare and rehearse our poems.
I can run the rehearsal as I was oft in charge of directing my own plays.
Very well. We shall begin the poetry contest now.
So what sort of poem will you all be writing? I was thinking of a ballad or a limerick.
My works are meant to be sung to the accompaniment of a lyre.
I'm afraid I don't have much of a singing voice. I mostly write prose, but it's got a certain rhythm to it, I'd say.
My poems were passed through an oral tradition. Once they were written down and stored in the Library of Alexandria. It was over 10,000 lines of verse. Some spoke of my legacy's reach as long as ships sail from the Nile.
Oh, what an honor.
But man's history is cruel, and as the Library of Alexandria burned, so too did my legacy.
Charles loved me, but in the end, it's not wise to be loved by a king with no heirs.
Only 10 of my poems were published in my lifetime. Now, father didn't approve of my dalliances with literature, and mother didn't approve of my dalliances with my sister-in-law, Susie.
Estrella was one of the many identities I assumed in my lifetime. I was a spy, after all.
I was reared in a garden, you know.
Estrella, the celestial virgin, was the last of the immortals to leave Earth before humanity became too wicked for her to bear. She ascended into heaven as the constellation Virgo.
I loved to write in the pantry, so cool, so quiet, while I skimmed the milk. Do we have a pantry? Perhaps a broom closet?
They say Estrella will return to Earth as the ambassador of a new golden age. Perhaps that is my mantle to bear now.
I'd love to bake a black cake for you, my dears.
No! No bread in zero gravity. Can you imagine the mess if there were crumbs floating all around the ship?
Ah, I feel like Jane Eyre. Let's just say that what we can and cannot do. Why can't we touch each other the way we desire to?
Emily runs her hand up Sappho's thigh. Sappho gasps.
Emily, go to your room.
No, you're not my mother.
As your ship's captain, that is an order.
As your first mate, I say no thanks. And also, I must have you.
As must I.
Afra places her hand on Sappho's other thigh.
This is entirely inappropriate. We should be preparing our poems, not starting an orgy now. If you will be so kind as to remove your hand from my thigh. You too, Afra, and we shall retire to separate quarters to finish our works and not return until we have something to rehearse.
Sappho removes their hands from her thighs and exits. Afra and Emily look at each other for a long moment.
She wants to be with me.
I can feel she wants to be with me. Why else would she bring me back?
She brought me back too.
She needed your weapons knowledge. I am her partner on this journey.
We're all partners, and it's true we should respect her wishes and retire to our cabins. We took Aphrodite's vow of celibacy, and you're making it very hard not to break it.
Am I? Well, it's you who are standing there all coquettish with your guns and your bravado.
Please, we must honor Aphrodite and Sappho. We must finish our poems.
Oh, I have a poem for you. Under my skirt.
Emily lifts her skirt up a bit and pulls Afra toward her living quarters.
Oh God, I am weak.
They exit together. A beat. Sappho enters.
Ladies, I have completed my masterwork. Time is nearly up. Are you ready? Ladies?
Coming!
Afra and Emily enter giggling and disheveled.
What is this?
Nothing, dear Sappho.
To be honest, we had intended to fornicate, but you called us out before we could consummate the affair.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. You sat here before me and Aphrodite herself and swore an oath of celibacy. Did you not?
We did, but
No more protestations of love and affection, understood?
yes.
I do care very much for you both.
You do?
Yes, of course.
And you think we are pretty?
Oh my God. Are you mad? You are gorgeous. I don't have time to stroke your egos. Where are your poems?
You really find us pretty? Sexy, even.
Yes, you are sexy, lovely, fuck muffins. I could rip your girdles off right here and now and make you scream like wild goats in the Corinthian fields, but that is not our mission.
No.
And what is our mission?
To find Aphrodite and create a new realm of womankind.
And can we do that when we are fornicating like rabbits in space?
Well,
No. And I don't want to hear another peep out of you about it, or I will personally throw you out of the airlock.
What would happen?
Would we return to our rest?
Perhaps. But first, every liquid inside your body would boil, including the blood in your veins, and at the time of the gas vapors attempting to escape from your mouth, nose, and other orifices, it would freeze, making for a quite painful and nasty second death. But if that's what you want.
No, we don't want that.
No, not at all. We will be good.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I have some idea of what I shall write about.
Oh, flowers.
No, I think perhaps you would do that, dear.
I would like to write about my persona, Astrea.
That's a wonderful idea, Aphra. I can't wait to hear it. You may go off to your quarters and work on your poems.
Thank you. I shall write something to honor you and our goddess.
Afra exits.
And now, Emily, I must confide in you. I do fear Aphra's guile sometimes. We must remain chaste on this journey. Was it she who tempted you?
Oh, yes. Yes, I was simply thinking of my garden and she tempted me into her room.
Pity. Just as I suspected, she set a trap for me earlier when you were out in your garden.
Pity.
Now, tell me what your plans are for this poem. Will you write about something natural or supernatural?
Oh, I suppose I could write about my flowers or baking. I love baking. Oh, please let me bake you something. I promise I won't make a mess of it.
I don't know.
I know you enjoy the finer things.
I won't deny I've lived a life of opulence in my youth. But I've put those moments of youthful desires behind me.
Come now. It's just a bit of cake. It's not a question of class warfare.
I hope that without the patriarchy we can live in classless bliss.
You believe that women have a higher sense of morality?
I see no need to subjugate our fellow femmes. Without men lording over us, what fight do we have with each other?
I have a sweet tooth.
I don't want war. I want eternal peace. But I will fight whoever I need to get it.
May I kiss you?
What?
I just need to. I'm so sorry. I find you absolutely irresistible.
Emily, how many times do I have to explain?
Please.
Very well. But not here.
Sappho grabs Emily's hand and takes her off stage. A beat after enters.
Ladies, I've finished my poem. Ladies.
Coming.
Sappho and Emily enter disheveled and giggling.
What is going on?
End of excerpt.
I'm dying. Thank you, Andy Lee Carter. Thank you, Cass.
Thank you, Cass. Thank you, Stage Directions.
And that is our final excerpt of the evening, everybody.
Yay!
Everybody, come on back. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
Woo!
Yay!
First of all, everybody just unmute yourself and give it up for our host tonight, Eric Mead.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah!
Very nice.
Yes.
Amazing work, Act 2 writers and actors. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. As we say at the end of every volume, this volume is officially closed, but do not fret. Our next volume will be on, the date is on my paper. Yes, January 23rd, 2 weeks from now. It will be in person at our home at the Marjorie S. Dean Little Theater on West 64th Street. So if you're around and you want to participate, the following writers will be presenting work: Kendra Augustine, Kit Goldstein Grant, Natalie Nicky Farrow, Rafa Perez, Raven Petretti Stamper, and her Emily Dickinson herself, Ruthie Rado.
Afrobane, but yes.
Sorry, I got confused. So you can come and come at that. If you're not participating, you can come and watch, and check out all the other amazing things that are coming up in our 2023. Just a couple of interesting things to note. Volume 200 will be in 2023. How cool is that? Also, the 5th Faces of America Monologue Festival will happen in 2023. So such amazing things are on the horizon for the Playground Experiment. We hope that this isn't the first or the last thing that you come play at. One of the things we always say is you don't have to be at every event at the Playground Experiment. This is the home that you come to when you need to get your laundry done or get a nice home cooked meal. We're always here from you when you need to fill your artistic soul. And let's say goodbye to our YouTube audience. Thanks for being here, YouTube audience. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.